Good morning, everybody. This is Eng Suraj Singh, Certified Professional Engineer in India. I had written a blog last year about the problems of India, sorry state of India, and some statement of the Prime Minister was involved with that. I should like to narrate that one to all of you for your considerations. Please have a look on this blog that I'm going to show you. This is Legislative, Judiciary, Executive, Constitutional Scheme, Scope, Encroachment, PM Statement by Professor Eng Suraj Singh. It says, alas, ultimately on 8th 4, 2007, our most qualified Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, advisory outburst on the judiciary and warned that there should be no encroachment between the functions of all organs of Indian democracy, legislative, judiciary, executive, as all should act within the framework of the defined scope of constitutional scheme, scope of responsibilities. Do we agree that it is real that the judiciary has been encroached or obstructing the functions of other organs? What are the bases that the Honorable PM has used reference to his speech confirming the interference? Ninth schedule of the Constitution and OBC resolution stay. Should we agree on the statement of Honorable PM Dr. Singh, we should not forget that every word uttered by the Prime Minister is very significant in our democracy as it carries many meanings. Let us discuss about the performance of the legislative and the executive based on recent experience and also past records. The basic function of any legislative is to complete the procedures and enact new laws with making proper amendments to the old laws. There are many laws having been in force for about hundreds of years. There are existing laws, there are case laws, there are regulations and bylaws and various other old orders passed by British monarch and the government of pre-independence era. How much time of Parliament is utilized for performing such functions? Are we sure now? How many laws are practically obsolete, and should some law affect any EIP is quickly amended? For example, Office of the Profit Act. Our honorable MPs have no time to look into the matter. It is not enough that walk out from the Parliament houses, or should in the house making very good decorum. Behavior of primary class students is much better than those honorable MPs. Whatever laws are amended or decisions adopted, how many are implemented? And who verifies whether implementation is according to the requirement and directions included within the approved laws and regulations? Ours is a big democracy, very big democratic system, and even the Honorable PM may not be aware of fulfilling all requirements. These Honorable MPs forget that there are some people living in the country, about 1 billion only, for whom these VIPs have been working. But unfortunately, they forget while present in the Parliament and also for duration of about 5 years between two general elections. They remember only during election campaign that they are serving some society who have been encompassed with unlimited problems. But all shall be solved in the next 5 years if reverted to power. Our Honorable PM also belongs to that category, though never expected as such. It is useful for them to blame the opposition for any lapse on the part of the government or transfer of the buck to others, or sometimes compare with the states of other countries who are far better than us. These so-called public representatives forget that every citizen of India has a right to go to the law court of justice in case justice is not done by the executive or the legislature. Our very qualified administrative servants have bound the system so tightly that an ordinary person cannot at all understand it throughout one's life. The real state of performance of the governments are like as follows. Parliament is unable to do its legislative work. State assemblies are unable to carry out their legislative duties. Ministries are not able to do their professional duties efficiently both at national and state level due to various interests and various other reasons. Municipalities never do anything considerable for the service of society. All departments are virtually non-existing as far as the use of a common man is concerned. Administrative officers rule everyone rather than serving. How many representatives are criminal is nowhere on public records. How many years have elapsed for the women reservation bill promised? There is no mandatory statutory registration system for the backbone of the industry and the nation of the engineering profession. All 5-year plans of nation failed. The magnitude of the budget deficit is known to the public. Government is unable to control the price rise and inflation. Law and order is not in control. Acts like Mithari have happened under nose of the central government. Is there any sector in India that is wonderful with minor exceptions? Do we not know that most of the current problems are existing because of Congress only? Many bills were returned to Parliament by our excellent President. Where should a common man go for the redressal of public problems? The only place trustable so far is the court of law in India, particularly higher judiciary. Fortunately, the higher judiciary has not been invested with the authority of statute interpretations. Fortunately, the higher judiciary has been invested with the authority of statute interpretations in addition to the scrutiny of the acts and deeds done by the governments and revisions of notified statutes and orders. Higher courts are authorized within the Constitution to find solutions in case the redressal is not available. Within the current laws or by the decisions taken by the government or problems erupting by the implementations or lack of implementations, court is bound to find out all mistakes and apply corrective actions by the framing of further laws onto the current laws to respond to questions raised by the petitioners in the title of case laws. Our legislative and executives do not intend to share any responsibility generally from all public welfare point of view, but only selectively for certain sections, from whom next 5 years are safeguarded by means of votes. According to public experience, the tendency of our government and the legislature is to prorogue all important decisions by one way or other. Where the common man should go, common citizen should go, the state answer for the justice is the court of law, now warned with advisory attack morally by our Honorable PM, Dr. Singh, really is unbelievable. There appears to be something wrong with the professor of economics. Burning examples are Afzal reservation, crimes, terrorism, price rise, bank rates, unemployment, and what the government is doing to resolve all these and many other issues. What about corruption? Does Mr. Kathrochi not know how to come to India and prove his innocence? Government allowed unfreezing of his account. All know what the Congress government is. Demolition in Delhi and Muslim reservation are solid examples about the inefficiency of the government. No courts have exceeded their limits as far as justice is given to the sufferers. It is actually better than justice denied. Can the government claim that anything they have done on their own without the court interference in the past years? The government and the legislature are unable to carry out their basic duties. Then why should court also do their duties? That is what is in the mind of the PM. Shall we agree on this? The answer should be certainly not. How efficiently Honorable UP Chief Minister got stay of the Allahabad High Court order in 24 hours because votes were at target during election. At least I consider that courts are doing great jobs for the democratic public, and Honorable CJI, Chief Justice of India, has rightly responded to the Honorable PM about the expression of evidence of democracy by such actions of the judiciary. Honorable PM warned the judiciary, but we, the massive public judiciary warned the executive and the legislature to do their respective jobs, for we are the best judges to pass removal decree from the respective offices. Public pending problems pending for the gross national resolutions, policy formation, and overall synopsis for public deliberations by professional Eng Suraj Singh, posting on the blogs at the following URLs: www.intoday.com, www.indiagrid.com. In continuation of contemplations based on my general observations and for apprising the intellectuals and others interested to involve themselves with a serious cause to assist charting solutions out of these national concerns, as well as imparting general awareness, I intend to forward certain points which are to be defined by the masses to reach the long-term solutions. Most of these have been condoned by the political system due to any reason whatsoever. There are hundreds of points to be added onto these at national level, but just to initiate the debating procedures, a basis is a must for all to commence with the schools of thought in all sectors of national importance. Kindly, all intelligent and concerned members of the public contribute to the national cause by joining www.intoday.com. This portal has initiated Fix India Movement (FIM) to get Bharat rid of bad politicians. The portal is not aligned to any political party. I am sure that you all are equally concerned for the country's future. Though the name is meant particularly for intellectuals, but since services are to be rendered to the public, there is no restriction on the criteria of joining. All members of Bharat public have a right to join and contribute, subject to an understanding that they are willing to remove the existing dirty politics and sickness of all systems. This movement shall propel within the Constitution of India and its laws for the time being in force. The basic intention is alliance of the kind-red voters online around the world, and particularly in Bharat. Please go through the following lines. Do not worry about mystic sequence, please. Final tuning shall be done later. Issues of national concern. Women reservation in Parliament, revision of Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha seat strength, feasibility of river linking project and efficient implementation, facilitating water resources for electrical power generation based on river linking, reducing dependence on nuclear energy, production based on fuel import from overseas, possibility of thorium exploration and development of technology for peaceful means, overhauling railway safety that lacks heavily, saving indicated by government is a hoax, police setup reorganization all over Bharat, additional statutory committees for monitoring the implementations of projects at national and state levels directly accountable to Parliament, supervising and control over the MNC's performance and surveillance, generation of reliable employment at all levels, industrialization at government level, industrialization at private level, policy and priorities for domestic products, policies on national education policy, for internationalization, all educational schools, reduction of fee structure to let all avail study, promotion of basic sciences, research and development in scientific personnel, promotion of engineering sciences and R&D, overhauling of health sector, promotion of Ayurveda, promotion of domestic pharmaceutical industries, promotion of economical effective medicine, raising the status of educated class by statute enactment, training the workforce for overseas requirements to world-class standards, raising the status of industrial and construction industries, minimum qualification for eligible voters and voters' duties, defining criteria for religious control to prevent religious convention promotions, describing jobs for all people's representatives, establishing statutory monitoring meetings of experts under the supervision and guidance of public panchayat improvements to be stronger, role of these bodies to be defined, revision of parliament schedule to work 12 hours a day for completing all pending bills, enlarging judiciary at all levels, encouraging advocates to take up judicial appointments, revision of courts schedules to work 12 hours a day for completing all pending cases, reducing of courts holidays, budget deficit storming, revision of all pre-independence statutes, revision of the constitution, revision of the criminal and civil procedure codes, establishing agriculture as a statutory industry, encourage youth to join defense forces, establishing certainly langar or bandara centers all over nation for the most poor to be fed twice a day in case no money is earned, cards to be organized, funding arrangements to be explored, the users could be utilized for development works in the vicinity. Low-fee night shelters for all homeless to be organized. Exploration, how to create an environment not to allow any person to sleep without food and shelter. Kashmir issue, border issue, illegal migrants in Bharat, international policies to be coherent. Please add to the following list for us. An explanation on the problems pending for gross national resolutions, policies, formations, and overall synopsis for public deliberations by Professor Eng Suraj Singh. Blog at the following URL: www.hintoday.com, www.areagrid.com. In continuation of contemplations based on my general observations and for apprising the intellectuals and all others interested to involve themselves with a serious cause to assist charting solutions out of these national concerns as well as imparting general awareness, I intend to forward certain points which are to be defined by the masses to reach the long-term solutions. Most of these have been condoned by the political system due to any reasons whatsoever. There are hundreds of points to be added on to these at national level, but just to initiate the debating procedures, a basis is a must for all to commence. With the schools of thought in all sectors of national importance, kindly all intelligent concerned members of public contribute to national cause by joining www.hintoday.com. This portal has initiated FIM, Fixed India Movement, to get Bharat rid of bad politicians. This portal is not aligned to any political party. I am sure that you are equally concerned for the country's future, though the name is meant particularly for intellectual persons as services are to be rendered to the public. There is no restriction on the criteria of joining. All the members of Bharat public have a right to join and contribute subject to an understanding that they are willing to remove the existing dirty politics and sickness of all the systems. This movement shall properly within the Constitution of India and its laws for the time being enforced. The basic intention is the alliance of the kind-hearted voters online around the world and particularly in Bharat. Please go through the following lines. Do not worry about existing sequence. Please, fine-tuning shall be done later. I have further expanded my views on national issues, but these are not limited. Any view can be issued depending on the outcome of the deliberation. You are very intelligent, intellectual experts in various fields. Many may contribute your thoughts further to make this proposal much more conductive for the mass. It shall be definitely a long process to decide and apply these and much more to be added, to implement it so that Bharat has a new face in the world. I am of the opinion that time should not be wasted in waiting over the issues, but intensive deliberations with full brainstorming be commenced with to finalize or reject the proposals. We cannot work passively like politicians. All members kindly invest some time, some of your valuable times to be utilized for this cause. If we are slow, this exercise or process shall never reach its destiny. An impact must go to the public about the efficiency of the members. All members should find out issues of national concern. Women reservation in parliament legislatures. As already formalized, 1/3 of the seats to be allotted to work to women folk. This reservation is different than other caste or OBC. All quality women should join the legislatures. This is very significant provisions for the fast advancement of the nation. The nation expects women to be corruption-free at least and keep a check on various national issues. Revision of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha seats distance. Due to the extensive increase of the population, the number of current MP does not meet the actual demand around the nation. More and more people, more and more problems. Currently, Lok Sabha MP looks after about 2 million populations on an average. This responsibility is too high, considering varying population densities over constituencies. One MP should not hold responsibility for more than 1 million population on an average. This calculates to about 1,000 MPs Lok Sabha. Over a period of time in coming decades, the pro rata shall enhance due to further population growth, which in current scenario is out of control and shall definitely explode. Then another 500 MPs shall be required for our Rajya Sabha. Similarly, MLAs are to be calculated currently about 10 times the number of MPs, and MLAs on the constitution that shall of course be doubled accordingly. And accordingly, municipalities shall be dealt with. The enlargement shall definitely require additional permanent budget but returns in the form of efficiency shall meet the expenses. Feasibility of river linking projects and efficiency implementation. Facilitating water resources for electrical power generation based on linking, reducing dependence on nuclear production based on fuel import from overseas, possibility of thorium exploration and development of technology for peaceful purpose. Floods and droughts every year the nation has to face anywhere in Bharat. This is a matter of one of major policies the nation has to finalize at an earliest and mobilize funding. For it's a giant task for execution. Simply linking is not sufficient. Thorough studies have to be conducted by experts, water resources engineers to chart the ways out for an optimum utilization of diversion of the rivers, water to be utilized on the diverted routes itself for either power generation or for irrigation or for any other economical objective. Diversion could be affected by underground piping, preferably to canalization. Millions of manpower could be employed on the national development for a number of years. This may be the biggest development project in the world due to extensive scope geographically. To be included subsidiary projects such as power stations or water treatment plants or else shall fetch the economy enormously in the long run. Thousands of regulatory headworks controls shall be affected. Additional power availability shall take off burden on the nuclear fuel requirements from overseas. On the routes itself or the diversion corridors shall be promoted plantation as well as arboriculture to improve environment for the reduction of greenhouse effect. I think we have to expedite this scheme in justifying its full feasibility as soon as possible. Bharat has considerable thorium in the heart of our motherland. We have to jointly with our friendly advanced nations having relevant technology duly licensed to us shall explore the possibilities of utilizing the future. In case we are successful, electricity shall be available in every house and industry in plenty at most economical cost. Overhauling railway safety that lacks heavily. Saving indicated by government is as ox. Saving indicated by government is the ox gain actually. Bharat Railways the system has been operating successfully for many decades and it has proved to be a basic requirement. About 15,000 trains are serving the needs of the people every day. Safety and security is of utmost concern. Cleanliness is too bad in some zones. Drinking water is not available in the coaches. Toilets are not maintained properly. Our stylish management visiting Professor Laluji has claimed sheer profits in a couple of years. The Honorable Minister did not express concerns of safety on the system. Clay mugs are required for tea, may be acceptable but not exclusively. Safety is first in all respects. We know the state of local trains, how the bogies are full up to the grim. An easy state to make an accident. Railways require a dynamic improvement to standardize levels. Police set up reorganization all over Bharat. I think it doesn't require an explanation to reorganize the nationwide police management. Well-educated and trained police professionals only, duly equipped with the necessary qualifications and equipment are need for the hour. Police is a statutory, but provisions should be devised not allowing political leaders to dictate over the police personnel, to enable the force to carry out their constitutional duties smoothly. Heavy punishment should be coded for erring policemen under the orders from the politicians of whatsoever sort. Due incentive should also be extended to the performing officers. It's also true that the current scenario adjudication of the criminal cases consume many years, but after having amended the criminal procedures, the limit for the adjudication shall be defined with the accountability of the judges and advocates involved. Police shall definitely have to act efficiently in all matters to avoid letting the witness any chance to be hostile and keep the witness's memories intact. After many years of the incident, we cannot expect the concerned witness to have memory of the incidents correctly. Moreover, meanwhile, the witness may die, leading the case to no proceedings and the accused got free. Additional statutory committees for monitoring the implementation of projects at national and state level directly accountable to Parliament. Independent statutory committee have to be constituted all over the nation to check the implementation of national projects and ensuring that the allotted funds are implemented correctly. Though an institution of CAG is functioning as a constitutional body, but it's not fully equipped to check all aspects necessary. CAG reports only when it is too late, allowing no room to control the leakage. These committees shall report to the Parliament for all matters connected with projects. Members of the committee shall be experts. Similar arrangement is to be enacted for all states. Heavy punishment shall be defined for the members of these committees. In case of malfunctioning by the committees is reported, these bodies shall supervise the MPs as well as MLAs involved in the implementation of the projects even from the MP funds. Supervising and control over MNC's performance and surveillance. Since we have allowed MNC's function and WTA provisions shall require further development in this regard, the government must be very careful about maintaining a surveillance over them, as many cases of income tax evasions have been reported. There are many other issues that cannot be declared at this stage for the sake of keep up of inflow of such companies. A level playing field has to be created between the domestic and foreign players in all respects. Bharat cannot afford to deeply depend solely on the foreign companies, making it necessary to promote domestic players for long-term returns. We should not forget that incoming dollars shall one day be outgoing, also making it difficult for us to manage the balance of payments. Finally, managers and experts can help highlight these points in detail. Generation of reliable employments at all levels. Yes, the most important problem we have been facing with the generation of employment of the youth that requires very serious attention at all levels. Progress has no meaning if employment is not generated constantly. Those who are capable must be provided jobs according to caliber. Many new schemes shall generate a lot of employment, but still enormous exploration is to be done for creating reliable employment. A separate Ministry of Employment has to be created for the coordination among all other ministries. We do not intend to promise anything that cannot be availed or achieved. Real action is required on the parts of involved in the governance and policy making. Industrialists and companies have a high degree of responsibility on them to involve with this cause. Then we will take industrialization at government levels. We are not advocates of complete privatization of industries. Those sectors where government can be successful to meet at the economic cost shall be within state control after the vetting of processing. We are also not keen to allow uncontrolled flow of profits to MNCs in every sector which produce products for domestic consumption at least. Open economy should not be meant as throwing the economy and later face the problems in every sector. Daily electrical distribution is a clear-cut evidence of problems implying private sectors for such a high public responsibility network. Industrialization at corporate private level as already progressing towards advancement. The private corporate sectors shall maintain its lead to pull the nation forward subject to reasonable controls without affecting and interfering with its management. The controls shall amount to surveillance status. Priorities sectors shall be defined based on the actual survey and expert advices. Policy and priorities for domestic products. We are of the view that it is not essential on the part of the state to involve MNCs or foreign investors in the market economy where domestic competitive players are available. The profits on the domestic products should be used for the national development and definitely not encouraged to be siphoned to overseas. Efforts on the other hand should be dedicatedly made for the export of these domestic products to earn foreign exchange from the underdeveloping economies. Middle East can be a very big export marketing booster. This market can be further explored as these